Alright, so while we're at it, let's go ahead and finish out what we can of the Angry Flappers game. And what we have left is the game over. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that controller. Oops, that was the view model. I need to open the controller. And let's go ahead and override game over. There we go. So in this case, we're just going to set the state is equal to Angry Flappers game state dot game over. All right. So now when I run this, I can click to play, and I can hit the game over button over here. You can see now the game over with the score is there. As you can see, when we click, it's not starting the game over. So to fix this, open up your Angry Flappers game view, where we added the update method here to check for the click. Let's just do an OR. Angry Flappers game dot state is equal to game over. Alright, now it should be working correctly. Hit run. Click, game over, click. Alright, so we're successfully going through different game states. Alright, so now what we want to do is, let's go ahead and get the pipes instantiating every few or so seconds as we define in the pipe spawn speed. I'm going to go ahead and set this value to 3 just so we don't forget. And I might as well go ahead and set the gravity here as well. And I think those will work for now. We'll play with them more later. So we need to actually add something to this pipe collection so that pipes can start instantiating. And I'll show you how all this works. Let's go to our Angry Flappers game again and go back to our controller. And whenever we hit play, first thing we want to do is make sure that our pipes collection is cleared out. And now I want to create a enumerator or a coroutine to begin spawning the pipes. And in this coroutine, we'll do while Angry Flappers game dot state is equal to playing. We'll do Angry Flappers game dot pipes dot add. And there's two ways we can create the view model, or pipe controller dot create pipe, or we can just manually create it into new pipe view model and then pass in the pipe controller. They both work the exact same way. So we'll just stick with this for now. And now we want to do a yield return, new, wait for seconds, get our Unity engine namespace, and our seconds will be our Angry Flappers game dot pipe spawn speed. So very simple logic. So now we just need to start coroutine spawn pipes. And in our game over, we want to make sure all coroutines have stopped. So let's do a stop all coroutines in our game over. Alright, that looks good. Alright, so now that we've got it adding to our collection, we need our view to react to this collection changing, particularly when adding. So what we want to do is go back into our diagram here. And we want to make our Angry Flappers game view bind to this pipes collection. So there's a couple different ones that we can do, but we want to make sure it creates a pipes view. And also we have events for pipes added and pipes removed. That'll work for now. Let's move these, give it some more room to grow. Alright, now when we save and compile, now under our Angry Flappers game view, we can go over here into our binding section in the inspector, and you'll see we've got the binding here where it's generated a couple things for you. Now by default, collections have a default implementation. So if I go into this view, you'll see that it's automatically added the methods I need right into my class for me. I'm going to remove these comments. And if you don't want the default implementation, you can just remove this line and do your own instantiate view. So we could do return instantiate view and specify all of our own custom options. But in this case, uFrame's already generated enough to where I have all I need. So let's go back into here. So this collection binding needs a container transform in order to parent all the views it instantiates as a result of adding or removing to this collection. So if I add some to this collection, it's going to keep a collection of game objects directly in sync with the collection of view models. So when I added that pipe view model, it's going to actually search in my resources folder and find a prefab with the name of the element. So this pipe right here should directly match a prefab inside of your resources folder. When I click on that, we need to make sure our pipe has a pipe view on it. So let's back out here and drill into our pipe. We need to add a new pipe view. Let's wire that up. And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and add a command for the pipe called past, meaning that we've made it past this vertical row of pipes as it's passing through. This is how we'll calculate score. So I'm going to hit save and compile. And now I'm going to just re-enable this pipe. Right click on the pipe view in the diagram and go to add to selection. Let's apply that. And now let's get back to our container we were just talking about. So I'm going to go create empty child and call this pipes. I'm going to throw this pipes right into there. And now on our Angry Flappers game view, we just need to set that pipes to our container here. So now it's going to use this transform to maintain an exact set of views that match the collection of pipes on our game. Now if we select scene first here, it will first initialize the collection based on what is underneath this transform first. But in our case, we don't want it to be the scene first because we're instantiating those on the back end in the controller side like we just added. So whenever we hit run here, it's going to actually remove that because it's keeping it in sync with whatever's there initially. So if I click to play, you'll see that there's pipes being added incrementally, just like we added. these pipes aren't doing anything. We want to actually make these scroll right along with the same speed as our background. So let's right click on our pipe view, go into the pipe view, I'm going to copy and paste some more code here for speed. And in our update, we're going to move to the left. And one thing to note here is we have the pipe, which is the instance of our view model that this view is using. And we can type in parent Angry Flappers game. uFrame creates this property for you because it sees the relationship between Angry Flappers game and pipe. It'll automatically maintain and set this property. So whenever a pipe is added to this collection, it'll set that reference to the game. This just makes our code much easier to access the elements we might need. And when it first instantiates, it's going to set the position to a predefined X position and a random Y position in between -2.3 and 4.11. We may have to adjust this a little bit. I'm not quite sure yet. So I'm just going to save this. Wait for it to compile. Let's run it. And now we've got pipes instantiating. All right. One other thing to note really fast is there's also this piece of code on trigger exit 2D. And what we're going to do here is actually add a trigger around this entire vertical row of pipes. And whenever the trigger exits, we're going to execute the past. So then on our controller, we can override the past command and update the score accordingly on the game.